Hi there! OIDC Single Sign-On configured in Jamf Account allows administrators to use a centralized SSO configuration to log into supported Jamf products. Let's go through a walkthrough of how to integrate Okta and Jamf Account. After signing into the Okta Admin Console, navigate to Applications, Applications. Next, click Create App Integration. Select OIDC-OpenID Connect, and then select Web Application. Once selected, click Next. Let's practice good naming conventions and give this app integration a name that makes it easy to identify. I'm naming mine Jamf Account. Next, we need to configure the sign-in redirect URIs. This URI varies based on region, so be sure to use the one associated with your identity provider configuration. The sign-out redirect URIs will always be https://account.jamf.com/logout. Under Controlled Access, I'm selecting Skip Group Assignment for now, as I'll assign approved users in the next step. To make things easier a bit later, be sure to copy the client ID and client secret and store it in a secure area. We also will need the Okta domain, which can be found by clicking the profile name in the top right corner. Next, click the Assignments tab. Click Assign, and then select the people or groups you want to assign this app to. For this example, I'm assigning it to myself so I can test it out before enabling it for the rest of the team. However, if you want to assign it to a group and configure Okta to send group information to products like Jamf Pro and not have to create individual users, click Assign to Groups and select what groups should be assigned. Then, once selected, click the Sign-On tab. Find the OpenID Connect ID Token section and click Edit. Under Groups Claim Type, we have the option to choose Filter or Expression. We can use Filter to send all Okta groups, or we can use Expression, which allows us to send up to 100 Okta groups and 100 federated on-premise Active Directory groups. For this example, I'm selecting Filter. Let's leave the Groups Claim filter name as Groups, choose Matches Rejects from the pop-up menu, and enter ** as the value. Click Save to finalize our updates. If you'd rather use an expression, be sure to check out the Jamf Account documentation titled Configuring Okta for SSO Integration with Jamf Account, linked in the resources for the settings and expression value to be used. With the app integration created and a user assigned, let's go to Jamf Account. Navigate to Organization on the left side, and then click SSO. Before we create a new connection between Okta and Jamf Account, Jamf needs to verify that the domain being used is actually owned by the organization. To verify this domain, click Domains, and then click Add Domain. Enter the name of your domain. After clicking Save, a confirmation message is displayed, and a unique DNS record is generated. This DNS text record needs to be added to the domain registrar. Each domain registrar is slightly different, so be sure to follow the steps for your specific setup, and reach out to your network administrator if you have any questions. Depending on your registrar, this record could take a few minutes to a few hours to be propagated. Once the text record has been added, click Verify to attempt to verify the domain. Because this is only an example, I'm clicking Sandbox Verify so I can continue with the SSO demonstration, but be sure that your domain is verified before moving on. Once verified, let's go back to SSO on the left side. Click New Connection. By default, generic OIDC is chosen in the Connection Type menu. While this will work for any supported connections, we have the option to choose Okta from the pop-up menu. This will pre-populate certain fields and offer additional options when available. Let's give the connection a name and then complete the required details for your identity provider. This includes the client ID, client secret, and Okta domain. Under Scopes, email, OpenID, and profile are required. If you'd like to use groups, be sure to add groups to the scope as well. Next, under Associated Domains, select the name of the domain you previously verified. Finally, under Applications, select the checkbox next to the products and their associated instances that you want to use this authorization for. Be sure to check out the Jamf account documentation linked in the resources for all supported applications. Click Save, and Jamf will save the IDP configuration and verify all of the contacts on the account. With everything successfully configured, assigned users now have the option to sign into Jamf account with their IDP credentials instead of their Jamf ID. If you enabled authentication for other products, such as Jamf Pro, be sure to review the documentation on how to enable OIDC authentication in those products. Remember that authentication is not authorization. Enabling SSO in Jamf account does not control roles or privileges for each user. These still need to be configured for each user within the chosen products, such as Jamf account or Jamf Pro. If you have any questions, be sure to check out the links in the resources for more information. Thanks for watching.